2 weeks after her boyfriend, Marcus Erez, was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison for taking the life of a 6-year-old Aiden Leos during a road rage incident on the 55 freeway in May of 2021, his girlfriend pled guilty for her role in his murder. Winnie Lee, age 26, of Costa Mesa, pled guilty on Friday to one felony count of accessory after the fact and one misdemeanor count of having a concealed firearm in a vehicle. The 26-year-old was behind the wheel of her car with Erez in the passenger seat as he fired a single shot at Aiden's mom's car, hitting the young boy. Lee admitted to helping Erez hide after the shooting with the intent he might avoid arrest. She received the maximum sentence of 4 years or 1,460 days in prison for both charges. However, under a current state law, defendants are allowed to accrue credit for court-ordered home confinement. Since June of 2021, Lee has been under home confinement and GPS monitoring. She has earned 2,106 days in credit time served, which means that Lee has already served out her sentence. Quote, under the present law, the defendant gets credit for that, which is basically as if the defendant was incarcerated. The defendant at the time has exceeded the maximum period of time that the court has imposed. Lee will be ordered to pay $670 in fines by next month. Aiden had his life fatally taken on May 21st of 2021, 10 days after his birthday. He was sitting in his booster seat of his mom's car, Joanne Clunan, who was driving him to kindergarten at the time of the incident. At about 8 a.m., she and her son were cut off by a Volkswagen Golf sport wagon. Lee made a peace sign, which Clunan took as sarcastic, and a few miles later, she was merging over to the 91 freeway east. She passed the defendants and gave them a middle finger. Senior Deputy District Attorney Dan Fleetman stated during his opening statements of Erez's trial. Lee then positioned their car behind Clunan's and Erez fired a shot from his Glock that struck the Chevrolet, went into the passenger compartment, and hit the boy. Erez and Lee were arrested by CHP officers on June 6th of 2021. I want to say my condolences to Miss Joanne for the loss of her child. And I want to state that this happened back during the pandemic, right? So this is about a good 3 years ago. So more than likely at that time, Lee was 23 or turning 23 at the time that she was with her boyfriend. I find it highly amazing how a model minority got herself caught up with a criminal, and she decided to be an accessory to this crime with her boyfriend. I could have sworn that the model minority was going to make sure that they kept their head down, that they weren't going to be a part of anything that was going to specifically injure or harm or cause anything that would make anybody want to have an issue or a problem with them, right?
Companies are not reporting these incidences. We don't want to cause more trouble, more attention to our community.
So again, it's a little bit weird to me seeing them out of minority, right? Because they're the ones that's supposed to never be a part of any type of crime. They're supposed to just keep their heads down, focus directly on education, focus on making their families proud, uplifting their community, being upstanding citizens, right? This is not supposed to be what takes place. So somebody has to explain to me what's going on here. Are we having an epidemic? Are people collapsing? Are people just losing their minds? Why would somebody such as her decide that she wants to be an accessory? Why wouldn't she just turn in her boyfriend so that she would be scot-free, so that she wouldn't have anything to worry about, right? Nobody's going to tell me that, oh, well, maybe she was afraid, or, maybe he threatened her, or maybe this. So I'm not trying to hear these excuses. This is a model minority. This is a very strong woman at the end of the day. This is an educated woman at the end of the day. This is a woman that has everything laid out directly in front of her. The key to that success would be to her to elevate herself to go to the next thing that's closest to godliness, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm a little bit confused. If you worship one group and you know that one group has all of the power, all of the money, Why would you relegate yourself to such low means? I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to understand what specifically is going on. It's not making sense. There's just so many variables here because, of course, normally, what are the stats that people always like to talk about? And what's the news that people like to talk about, right? They always like to talk about how black people are the ones, causing all of this ruckus, causing all of these issues in America. But nobody likes to talk about the proximity. Right. Nobody likes to talk about that. Hey, a lot of these things that take place, they're community based. Right. Whenever a lot of these incidences take place, 9 times out of 10, it's usually dealing with black people with other black people. Matter of fact, let me roll that back. Let me correct myself. Black Americans with other black Americans. That's usually how that works. And it's a shame I actually have to clarify that. And due to the effect of other people coming directly over and trying to masquerade, right, and in cosplay as black Americans up until they, succeed. That's the only time that people want to come out and, show exactly who it is and who they are and what they're about. But that's besides the point for another video or live stream. The main thing that I want to state here is that it's not the everyday black American that was a part of this, that did this, that collaborated, that quote unquote escape, or that's trying to get away from the law. No, it's the model minority, the person that came here that is not indigenous to this land, the main individuals of which they were able to get something off of the plate of affirmative action in the civil rights movement, because originally the majority did not care about them at all. But what the majority did was they told them that they're a little bit special. And in order to get a little bit of something, we can use you in order to combat against the black people. All you have to do is do what we say, and we will allow you certain other things a little bit more, right? Just a tad bit more than black people, on top of the fact that you will be able to get things from affirmative action as well. And this is how you had the Asian community versus the black community, right? So this will also explain why it is that she was able to be on 2 or so years worth of house arrest. I mean, just think about that for a minute. Since the pandemic, she has been at home. She's been able to see the latest tech. She's been able to order. She ain't missed nothing. She ain't missed no type of technology, no TV shows, no nothing. She's just been in the house. Color me surprised. And the judge was like, hey, well, she went actually over her time. She did serve. So, we're going to let her go. Wow. As an accessory, though? As an accessory, that's all the time that she has to do, knowing the fact of what took place, what happened, and what her boyfriend did. She should realistically get more time than him, because she knew what it was and she escaped directly with him, and she tried to hide him. But they're only going to give her 2 years. And this goes back to what I stated before about how it is that women can commit crimes or be a part of crimes, and they're not going to get the same time. She was a willing accomplice. She was whipping, driving around, trying to help hide. It's crazy how this works. You would have thought that she was a Sexy Red fan. If nobody caught that, there is a specific song that basically matches up directly with what took place here. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that's stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, stay tuned for the next video.